Hi, Tina here. The video you're about to watch is about my update on the EIDL grant and loan applications and kind of the issues I've been dealing with and some tips and tricks. I decided not to try to re-record it because I was interrupted several times today, as you'll see at the end of the video. So I hope you find it a little bit humorous in this day and age. And I also wanted to just say, if you're interested in hearing more updates from me, I greatly appreciate it and would love it if you would subscribe to this channel and like any of the videos that you actually do like. And again, if you have any questions or you'd like to keep the conversation going, you can definitely leave a comment below this video. Glad you're here and thanks for watching. Here comes the full video. Hey, it's Tina here. I wanted to give an update on my EIDL experience because yesterday I had someone make a comment in my previous YouTube video about asking if I've heard anything as of yet, and I actually did hear back yesterday. So if you are new to my experience with the EIDL, I created a video that was about them doing a unverifiable information denial email and letter and what my experience has been since then. So just to kind of backtrack so you have the full timeline and story, the EIDL from the SBA came out at the beginning of the year once COVID hit, and I had heard about it as being a loan, so I did not apply. But then just as the monies ran out, I did hear that it was also a grant, opportunity for a grant. And so I wanted to apply for specifically more or less to get the grant. Come May, which happened to be my birthday, they had opened it back up, but it was for ag only applications. And I decided to kind of play around with it and see if I could put my application in anyway, which worked. I was able to get my application in. But then, of course, I received an email that said I was not ag, so they weren't going to process my application. Then, as you're probably aware by now, in June, they did get more funding. And so I immediately did get an email that said, don't reapply. We've got your application and we will be processing it. So then the middle of June, so June 17th, I got an email stating they needed me to update some information. And it was basically about my bank account. And at this time, from what I understand, all of this is happening through an AI system. So no one in particular is looking at your application. And so there's certain things that can trigger these issues. And I believe for me, it was that because I'm a sole proprietor, I file my taxes under my own name and not under some business name. And so this is where the issues kind of come in, because I do and have filed taxes as a sole proprietor, self-employed for over 20 years now, and it's using the CEZ form. So I am filing as a business, but because it's under my own name, this is, I think, causing the issues. So again, in June, I got the email to update my information, and then a few days later, they did receive it, and then I got an email that said that they were denying my application for unverifiable information. And so then I did try to call the SBA to find out what it was that they couldn't verify, and they really couldn't give me any information, any specifics. And they just told me to talk to someone in the Tier 2 escalations department, which I did. And again, they really couldn't tell me anything. They just kept saying, be patient, somebody will look it over. But in the meantime, I heard other people say, send in as much documentation as you can right away with your email, or you can also fax or something else. There's a few options to request a reconsideration. And so I did that. I sent an email requesting for reconsideration with all the attachments on June 29th. And I never heard anything back. And so after a while, I started to get concerned. I did reach out again to Tier 2 Escalation Department at the SBA on July 6th. Again, they just said, be patient. But by August, the beginning of August, then I started to get, like, I started to figure they weren't even looking at it. So at this point, I forwarded that email with all the attachments and added in a read receipt. So if you don't know what that is, it's when you send an email, you can attach a read receipt so that if someone opens that email, you'll get an alert. And so I did that, but unfortunately, I think that when I forwarded it, the attachments weren't there. So even though I did get a verification, they opened my email, I did get an email back from the SBA, an auto-generated one saying they received my email. As of yesterday, I got an email back stating that they're still reviewing my application, but they need all these documents, which of course I had sent, but apparently they don't have. So in the description below, I'm going to list out for you all of those documents that they requested from me, as well as other documents that I sent in addition to. So they would include things like your tax returns, copy of your driver's license, copy of your social security card, and then they didn't say they needed a voided check, but I did also send a copy of my voided check from my checking account, which I use for my business as well. So again, I'll put those in the description below. I'll also in the description give you some of the emails and phone numbers that I was calling. So as of today now, I've sent it in. I responded to yesterday's email with all the documents. And again, as I say as a tip, is to attach a read receipt request. Because I did not get the read receipt request, but I did get an auto-generated reply stating they received my email. So I'm wondering if you're attaching that read receipt request, that's helping in some way. I mean, maybe I'm just paranoid, but those would be my two suggestions. If you are at the point where you've received a unverifiable information denial, go ahead and send in all these documents to the correct email address, but add that read receipt. Now, if you're using Gmail or G Suite email, then and you don't see that that's available to you, you can download an app called Boomerang, and that'll allow you to attach a read receipt. So why bother now if they've said that they've ran out of money again? Well, for a couple of reasons. One, the way I heard it was they ran out of money for grants for new applicants, and I'm not a new applicant. My application's already been in there. So there's a slim chance that I still could get the grant. And then there's also rumors out there that if more monies were put back into the SBA for the EIDL grant and loans, that you might get the $10,000 rather than the only $1,000 per employee that they started doing. Yes, can you hold on 1 second?
I found poop in the pool.
You found poop in the pool. Was that from you?
Yeah.
You pooped in the pool.
Can you get it out?